Hey, it's Dee, and I just wanted to tell you guys a story about something amazing that happened to me this summer. So the story is that sometime in like the midsummer time, there was this guy on eBay, and he was a Long Island seller. And so I saw all his beautiful, beautiful antiques he had, and he really wasn't an antique dealer. What happened was that he had inherited his great grandfather's antiques, and it was actually a storage unit that was filled to the brim. He said it was filled to the ceiling with antiques. His family didn't want any of it, and they said they were going to throw it all in the garbage. And so he took over the storage unit and he started listing things on eBay. And I saw his things and I fell in love with a lot of his things. And I noticed that he didn't know what his items were and what their value was. So he was listing them all in the wrong categories, and he had all the wrong descriptions for them. And so I contacted him through the eBay send seller a question, and I started to tell him about what his items were and their value. And so we befriended each other and we exchanged phone numbers and we started texting each other. So he started sending me pictures of all the items that were in the storage unit that he didn't list yet. And I was giving him advice and telling him the value of his items, identifying them for him. I actually gave him advice not to sell certain things on eBay, like jewelry. He had an antique Tiffany pocket watch that was actually made for Tiffany by Rolex. And I told him do not sell it on eBay because there's a lot of scam artists that he'll end up losing the watch and his money. And so he took my advice and he took it to a special person that buys antique pocket watches in gold. And he got several $1,000s for it. And then I helped him by identifying most of his collection. And then he started to make the right amount of money that he should have made for his items. So one day he texted me and said, "Look, I want to give you a present to thank you for what you've done for me." And I said to him, "Look, I wasn't doing it, to get a reward or to get you to pay me anything." And he was a very, really sweet religious man. And he said, "No, you blessed my family and I want to bless you back and show you my appreciation." And he said, "Send your husband here. Does he have a truck?" And I said, "Well, he has a mini SUV." And he said, "I have a bunch of presents to give you." So my husband went, and when he came back, I could not believe the guy had filled up my SUV with antiques. And these are my favorite pieces of the things he gave me. And he gave me a lot of amazing, amazing antiques. He gave me a 4.5 foot wooden cigar store Indian. He gave me antique paintings, antique, like rare prints in original frames that were signed by the artist. And he gave me bronze French clocks, a bronze statue of, like a French cherub or like angel figure. He gave me antique French porcelain. He gave me beautiful 1920s and 1930s Art Deco jewelry. He gave me a flapper purse from the 1930s. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. It had Belgium or Bohemian glass beads, thousands of them on it. Oh my goodness, I can't even go on to tell you all the beautiful things he gave me. Well, these are my favorite. He found out while we were corresponding that I love antique glass boxes. And so I love these type of boxes. These are called Baccarat, and Baccarat was one of the greatest crystal makers of all time in France. They started sometime in the 1780s, and they were the official court, actually glass maker, like for I think Louis the 16th. And I'm telling you, like amazing, amazing stuff. Only wealthy people could own boxes like these. And these are called casket boxes or sugar caskets. Like these two are like sugar caskets. This is an antique, I believe, glove box for ladies' gloves. And so these boxes, actually, the reason why they have locks on them are because back in the day, spices were very valuable. And so, for example, sugar and tea and tobacco and salt were very expensive spice commodities. And so what they used to have to do was get boxes like these with locks on it, just so the servants and the maids wouldn't steal the spices. So they would lock up the spices in these boxes and actually take the key with them just so the maids wouldn't steal it. So, oh my goodness. Now, I had a few Baccarat pieces in my collection. Those particular pieces I had found as sleepers, and a sleeper is something the seller doesn't know the value of and you get for cheap. So I had like a couple of maybe two or three other boxes like these that I got for like $100 a piece. But these boxes generally sell anywhere between $895 to $2,000. And the bigger they are, the more valuable they are. Now, I could not believe that he gave me these boxes. I was so bowed over. I could not believe it. My jaw was on the floor. So let me show you how gorgeous this is. This is like a high cut diamond cut hobnail box, this particular one. It has what's called doré bronze. You could see that. It's like a gold bronze. And this was all hand cut. Look how it shines and shimmers under the light. And look how raised up that is. You could see all the cuts that were done by hand. And it looks like diamonds. Now, generally these boxes always are missing the keys, the original keys. And these were missing keys. And so I wanted to find keys for them. But it's very hard to find keys that would fit because these locks all vary. And it's like finding a needle in a haystack. So what I did was I ordered replica skeleton keys on the internet. I took a Dremel and I actually carved them with the Dremel to fit into these locks and to work. And so I was really surprised I was able to do that. That was like something that made me proud. I had to do the same for this one. It took me a very long time to actually, it was like being a locksmith and trying to get these keys to fit perfectly. I'll open these up and show you. Just look at the workmanship on it. I could not believe that somebody gave me these. Now this one I believe is from, I looked on the internet, somebody else said it was from 1820. I don't know how true that is, but they said it was a Baccarat 1820s box. There was one that was almost identical to this one. This particular one is probably from about 1840s to the 1860s from what I read. Now look at it, it's like a little treasure box, isn't it? Look how good condition this box is in. I mean, it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And this is the glove box. It's a very, very thick, heavy glass. Now I'm having trouble getting it open with one hand. There we go. Ooh, oh my God. That just scared the hell out of me. But look at that. Look how thick that glass is. See that? I mean, this is really, really well made. You don't see things like this anymore. And that's why I love these old glass boxes so much. So I thought I'd share that really amazing story with you guys about how kind some people are in this world. That guy did not have to give me any of these things. And it meant so much to me. Now these, my husband would probably expect me to sell them because, you know, I do buy a lot of antiques and he's not very happy about that. I mean, I can't blame him and it would be nice to recoup some of the money, but this means something to me. So these are boxes I would never sell because somebody was just so kind to me that it's a memory that I want to keep forever. So once again, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys all soon. By the way, this was like hitting the lottery, let me tell you. So long.